The story begins with a young man named Akito, who is reflecting in despair due to his illness, reading a guide on how to die quickly. As he tries to follow the guide, he accidentally sees a beautiful girl, like an angel, sitting alone while painting. Curious about what the girl is painting, Akito approaches her and greets her. The girl simply replies that she is drawing heaven, a place she will soon visit. She then explains that she has suffered from a rare disease since childhood and only has 6 months left to live. Seeing the calmness on the girl's face as she talks about her short remaining life, Akito is confused as to why she doesn't seem afraid at all. The girl casually reveals that she prefers to enjoy the beautiful scenery in heaven rather than stay in the hospital all the time. Hearing this, Akito is stunned and begins to rethink his intention to leave with the angel of death. It turns out that Akito's life shares similarities with the girl's experience. Some time ago, on his way home from school, Akito was in an accident that sent him to the hospital. After further examination, the doctor revealed that Akito had a malignant heart tumor, and he only had 1 year left to live. Since then, his life began to fall apart. He lost his spirit, felt like he had no future, and even his dream of becoming a great artist seemed impossible because he didn't know how much longer he had to live to pursue the painting competition he had always dreamed of. Akito's curiosity grows when he sees the girl's zest for life, so he decides to visit the hospital again and meet her. When he arrives at her room, Akito learns that the girl's name is Haruna. It turns out that they not only share the same rare disease but also have names inspired by the seasons in Japan. Akito was born in the autumn, while Haruna was born in the spring, and they are the same age. They truly look like friends with similar fates. While talking, Akito also finds out that Haruna loves painting, just like him. He is amazed by her talent, despite never attending an art school. However, Haruna reveals her envy because Akito still has hope for a future as an artist. Akito intends to tell her about his illness but falls silent when Haruna suddenly says that she, too, really wants to participate in the same painting competition. Since then, Akito started visiting Haruna every day after school. He became the first in his class to go home, or more precisely, to go straight to the hospital. Before visiting, he would stop by a flower shop to choose what flowers to give to Haruna. The shop owner recommended gerbera flowers, which come in a variety of colors. Akito ended up buying 5 stems of gerbera flowers, which together symbolize hope. When he arrived at the hospital, Akito saw Haruna sleeping. However, he still entered her room, and shortly after, Haruna, who had only been pretending to sleep, surprised him. As a young man who entered without permission, Akito immediately apologized and gave Haruna the flowers he had bought. Haruna looked very happy to receive the flowers, and as a thank you, she invited Akito to eat meatballs at the hospital canteen. Unfortunately, because he was thinking about how Haruna couldn't have fun with friends her age, Akito took the initiative to help her feel less lonely. He remembered that Haruna once told him about a childhood friend, but they were no longer in contact. With some information from his school friends, Akito found out that Haruna's childhood friend was named Miura, who coincidentally went to the same school. Akito immediately went to see Miura in class. When Miura saw Akito, he thought Akito just wanted to get close to him like other boys. However, when Akito mentioned Haruna's name, Miura fell silent. Akito explained Haruna's condition and hoped that Miura would visit her. Unfortunately, Miura immediately refused the request. The next day, Akito visited Haruna again, bringing gerbera flowers. When he looked at Haruna's drawing, Akito felt like she was waiting for someone. When asked, Haruna said she was just hoping her father would come, as she hadn't seen him in 5 years. She just wanted to apologize to her father for feeling like an unhealthy daughter. Haruna knew that her father really wanted to spend time with her, but with her illness, she felt she couldn't go anywhere with him. Akito then tried to find out more about Haruna's family by speaking with the head nurse he had previously met. When Akito asked where he could meet Haruna's parents, the head nurse revealed that she was Haruna's biological mother. From her mother's story, Akito learned that Haruna's father had passed away in an accident during a vacation with Haruna. Since then, Haruna had withdrawn from the outside world because she felt guilty and only wanted to follow her father to heaven. Haruna's mother was very grateful to Akito for being Haruna's friend and bringing back her old cheerful self. After that, Akito became even more determined to accompany Haruna. This time, he brought 6 stems of gerbera flowers for her. Haruna, who had been given permission by her mother, started trying to post on social media to go viral like Gen Z. While enjoying looking at photos on their phones, they accidentally locked eyes affectionately, causing their hearts to race. In the next moment, Akito quickly distanced himself, almost getting caught up in the moment. He pretended to be busy arranging the flowers to display in Haruna's room. Haruna then asked why Akito visited her so often instead of spending time with his school friends. Akito finally revealed that he didn't have many friends to have fun with. Haruna was also curious whether Akito had a girlfriend. Akito simply replied that he had a childhood friend, but that friend already had someone else by her side. On the other hand, Akito also started to get curious about Haruna's love story. However, Haruna quickly said that she was afraid of falling in love because she knew that anyone close to her wouldn't be able to stay long. Honestly, Haruna admitted feeling envious because Akito still had a future where he could fall in love. Hearing that, Akito wanted to be honest with Haruna about his illness, but again he failed because Haruna hoped that Akito would live a long life so she could see him grow. From that moment, Akito decided to keep his illness a secret and focus on spending the rest of his time with Haruna. While visiting Haruna, Akito asked about her plans for the upcoming summer vacation. Haruna casually answered that she wanted to take a break from her illness, though she was just joking. However, Akito was startled by her response and felt uneasy with Haruna, thinking he had said something inappropriate. To change the mood, Haruna immediately said that she really enjoyed watching the fireworks from her room. Hearing this, Akito promised to accompany Haruna to watch the fireworks. Overjoyed, Haruna wrote the date of their meeting on her palm as a reminder of that promise. Unfortunately, Akito couldn't stay long with Haruna because he had plans to watch an outdoor movie screening with 2 of his friends. He bid farewell and kept reminding himself of their promise to watch the fireworks together. Upon arriving at the meeting spot, Akito met his 2 friends who had been waiting for him. However, suddenly his illness flared up. When he regained consciousness, Akito was shocked to find himself being treated in the hospital. He hadn't realized that he had been unconscious for a whole week. His mother told him that he had just undergone surgery to have a device implanted in his heart, and he had to stay in the hospital for the rest of the summer vacation. At that moment, Akito remembered his promise to Haruna and felt guilty for not being able to keep it. Moreover, the messages from Haruna made him feel even more disappointed in himself. Shortly after, Akito received a phone call from Haruna. He immediately apologized for breaking his promise. However, instead of being angry, Haruna was happy that Akito could enjoy his vacation, even though she had to hold back her sadness. For Haruna, seeing Akito's happiness was her greatest joy. Although they couldn't watch the fireworks together, their hearts still felt the significance of their time together. Even though Haruna said that this would be the last fireworks she could see, Akito didn't give up on continuing to encourage Haruna. He believed there was still hope for Haruna to live longer and for them to enjoy the fireworks together next year. Hearing Akito's words of encouragement, Haruna couldn't hold back her gratitude for having a friend like Akito who always supported her. The next day, Akito's two best friends came to the hospital to visit Haruna. Although they were initially upset that Akito had kept his illness a secret, they understood that Akito didn't want to burden those around him. Nevertheless, they insisted on being there for him during his treatment. Akito didn't object and thanked his friends for accepting his condition as it was. While Akito was getting some fresh air, he accidentally ran into Haruna's mother. Seeing how shocked she was upon learning about his condition, he decided to tell her about his illness. Although it seemed selfish, Akito asked Haruna's mother not to tell Haruna about his condition because he wanted Haruna to enjoy the rest of her life like any other teenager. As a mother who wanted her daughter to be happy, Haruna's mother softened and agreed to keep the secret for the time being. After being discharged from the hospital, Akito met Miura again and immediately took him to visit Haruna. However, on the way, Miura tried to resist and felt frustrated about why Akito was so insistent on having him meet Haruna. At the hospital, Haruna was surprised to see Akito arrive with Miura. Upon seeing her condition, Miura hugged Haruna tightly and apologized for all his past mistakes. Miura cried deeply, feeling guilty for not being a good friend and for leaving Haruna to fight her illness alone. On the way home, Miura shared memories of his childhood with Akito, explaining how Haruna was very introverted because she felt insecure about her illness. Miura had tried to approach her, and from that moment on, they became close and eventually best friends. That night, at home, Akito's father told him about a new medical procedure that could help treat his rare illness. He hoped that his son would try the surgery so he could participate in the painting competition. Unfortunately, Akito declined because he had promised Haruna to spend the rest of his vacation with her. He believed the surgery would only extend his life a little, not truly cure him. Though disappointed by his son's refusal, Akito's father didn't force him and left with a heavy heart. The next day, Akito visited Haruna again, not expecting Miura to be there as well. Nearly every day, seeing his two friends act like Tom and Jerry, always bickering but still caring for each other, made Haruna very happy. She never imagined her days could be so cheerful thanks to her two friends. At that moment, Haruna casually expressed her happiness at being able to spend time with her school friends. Hearing this, Akito and Miura fell silent, feeling sad as they were reminded of Haruna's situation. Miura then handed 2 tickets for the school festival to Akito and asked him to take Haruna to enjoy the festival. Miura also hoped that Haruna could experience a beautiful teenage moment at least once in her life. Seeing Miura's sincerity, Akito promised to take Haruna to the school festival. Afterward, Akito immediately contacted Haruna to invite her to the school festival. He reassured her not to worry, as he would try to get permission from the doctor and her mother. After hearing that, Haruna happily accepted the invitation and became more diligent in her treatment, despite the pain she had to endure. Haruna was willing to go through it all just to enjoy the school festival she had always dreamed of. For her, the pain meant nothing compared to the happiness she was feeling. A few days later, the school festival took place, and Akito faithfully accompanied Haruna as they toured the festival. Haruna couldn't stop smiling from sheer happiness, as she never imagined that one of her dreams could come true, thanks to her two beloved friends. They also didn't miss the chance to watch Miura's performance in the school play. There, Haruna looked so proud of her friend, while Akito felt happy just seeing Haruna's bright smile. After the performance, Miura immediately approached Haruna and Akito, filled with joy that Haruna could attend and experience life like a normal teenager. On the way home, Akito took Haruna to a special place, which turned out to be the beach Haruna had always wanted to visit with her father. Haruna was moved because she didn't expect Akito to go to such great lengths to help her visit her dream beach. During their conversation, Haruna asked Akito if he would be willing to recreate memories like the prince who saved Snow White from death. She deeply wished to feel love and bring happiness to the person she loved. Akito, while holding back his sadness, could only apologize, knowing that he didn't have the power to change their fate, even though he desperately wanted to help Haruna live longer with him. However, Haruna didn't expect anything from Akito and just wanted to enjoy her happy moments with him in the present. Day by day, Haruna's condition gradually worsened until she could only lie weak in her room. Despite this, Haruna never felt alone because Akito and Miura were always there to accompany her every day. One time, when Akito came to visit and paint her, Haruna reminisced about their first meeting. She asked why Akito wanted to talk to someone as ill as her. Honestly, Akito replied that he saw Haruna as an angel who had saved him from death. He admitted how admirable Haruna was for never being afraid of her illness, and that gave him the strength to keep living until now. However, Haruna felt Akito misunderstood her, as she wasn't as strong as he imagined. After receiving news from the doctor that she wouldn't survive more than 6 months, Haruna actually saw Akito as a hero who restored her will to live longer for the sake of her loved ones. Every second spent with them became a powerful motivation for her to fight her illness. Feeling like he had received valuable advice from Haruna, that night, Akito told his family that he was willing to undergo surgery to spend more time with them. Just like Haruna, he realized that the most important thing to him now was to enjoy his remaining time with his loved ones. Hearing this, his parents were moved to tears, happy to see their son still willing to fight for his life for them. The next day, when Akito came to the hospital, he accidentally saw Haruna being carried by nurses, unconscious. Knowing that Haruna's condition was becoming critical, Akito became deeply afraid of losing her soon. His deep anxiety over Haruna's condition caused his own health to deteriorate, and his illness relapsed. A few days later, at the funeral, Miura was deeply disappointed in Akito because he wasn't there by Haruna's side in her final moments, even though Haruna had fought to stay conscious, calling out for Akito to meet her one last time. Akito could only remain silent, feeling disappointed in himself for being weak when Haruna truly needed him. After Miura left, Haruna's mother approached and handed Akito Haruna's sketchbook. At first, Akito refused, feeling unworthy to accept Haruna's belongings after letting her struggle alone in her final days. However, Haruna's mother believed that Haruna left the sketchbook for Akito and that he deserved to have it. After some convincing, Akito finally accepted the sketchbook. In Haruna's room, Akito began reading Haruna's last message written inside the sketchbook. In the message, Haruna poured out her heart, expressing her gratitude for the chance to know Akito. For Haruna, Akito had transformed her room from a place full of pain into a warm, bright, and happy space.
親友って何親友
To fulfill his promise to Haruna, Akito was determined to become a better person so he could live a happy and longer life, for both of them. Akito rejoined the art club, underwent surgery to extend his remaining time, and regularly attended treatments. He also lived his days with more enthusiasm and spent more time with his family. On the other hand, Miura finally learned that Akito had also been gravely ill all this time, and she frequently visited Akito in the hospital. Just as Akito used to visit Haruna, Miura never failed to bring gerbera flowers when visiting Akito. One day, while Miura was at the flower shop, she accidentally saw a picture of gerbera flowers that Haruna had posted on social media. She quickly informed Akito about the photo. Akito remembered that Haruna had once taken a picture of the flowers he had given her to post on social media. However, when Akito scrolled through Haruna's social media account, he noticed a private post that required a password to view. Knowing that the post was meant for him, Akito tried to crack the password but struggled, repeatedly entering the wrong code. As he looked through Haruna's sketchbook again, Akito recalled that there were 3 gerbera flowers drawn on the last page. Realizing the deep connection gerbera flowers had between them, Akito tried entering the password, 3 gerberas, and finally succeeded in unlocking the secret post. Inside was another message from Haruna to Akito, and to Akito's surprise, Haruna had known about his illness all along. Haruna pretended not to know about Akito's condition because she didn't want Akito's sacrifices to go in vain. She simply wanted to repay all the kindness Akito had shown her because, for Haruna, the last 6 months with Akito had been the most precious time of her life. In that message, Haruna also expressed the feelings she had long kept hidden from Akito through the 3 gerbera flowers. From the bouquet of 3 gerbera flowers, Akito realized just how deep Haruna's love for him truly was. Three years later, after battling his illness, Akito joined Haruna in heaven. Their friend, Miura, never missed visiting their graves, always bringing 3 gerbera flowers for her 2 dear friends. Even in the end, Akito kept his promise to Haruna by creating a painting in their name titled, Our Sky. This painting became a cherished memory of their story, one that would be remembered forever.